House Leader of the Third Party.
Honourable Speaker, in response to tariff threats, this government has promised a wave of new mines, fossil fuel infrastructure and clean energy projects, all with faster review processes. The government is assuring British Columbians that accelerated environmental assessment processes will be just as rigorous, that Indigenous rights will be respected and the public will be engaged. Yet the budget for the Ministry of Environment and Parks decreased from $225 million last year to $221 million per year. And the budget of the Ministry of Water, Land and Resource Stewardship increases very slightly to from $219 million to $221 million. Where are the resources for these accelerated approvals? My question through you, Honourable Speaker, is to the Premier. How does his government plan to deliver both rigorous assessments for this massive increase in projects and at the same time accelerated process with a decreased budget? Thank you.
Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you to the colleague opposite for the question. I will provide a bit of a correction, if I may, which is that the budget for the Ministry of Environment saw an increase of $4 million over last year's budget, Honourable Member. And I will share with the member opposite that while it is true that we're very focused on accelerating projects that can help us grow our GDP during this time of significant economic threat, we will continue to prioritize the environment and working closely with Indigenous partners. It's so integral. It's absolutely integral, Member. And I do want to share with you that there's been a number of validator quotes that have come in regards to this budget, and perhaps I could share with you that Alexa Young from New Economy Canada, the Vice President there, says that today's budget stays the course with its focus on delivering the services British Columbians rely on, while also reaffirming earlier commitments to getting things built, including an important focus on critical mines, clean energy projects, and electricity transmission infrastructure.
Member supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The Premier of this province made a solemn commitment to future generations to protect 30% of land and water by 2030. We are currently at only 19%. We still have a long way to go. Yet there doesn't appear to be any funding in this year's budget to increase the amount of conserved lands in BC. The same is true for the long-promised biodiversity and ecosystem health framework. It's absent from this budget. This seems to be a pattern for this government. The promises are made, but where's the funding to secure them? We are still in the midst of a climate and biodiversity crisis. We cannot rely on contingency funds to secure a livable future. My question is to the Premier. Where in Budget 2025 is there adequate funding to support the province's stated goals on conservation?
Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Our work on climate action remains core, and we're absolutely devoted to building a sustainable future together. Protecting our environment is essential for supporting healthy communities, ensuring a prosperous economy, and protecting against climate change. About 18.5 million hectares of protected and conserved areas in BC have already been protected, Mr. Speaker, which is nearly 20% of BC's total land area. The Minister of Water, Land and Resource Stewardship has a clear mandate to protect 30% of lands and waters by 2030, and we're going to keep doing that work together.